So you have to decide where you're going to crochet in your house and the body positioning when you're actually going to be working on your project. Now what I'm about to tell you are only suggestions. Find a way that actually works for you, but I'm going to give you a few hints. I actually crochet in bed, but I actually get really sore upper neck, I get a sore back, and I get sore legs when I crochet in bed. And the reason for it is my legs are straight out, my back is up, and my neck is down looking like so. And it's causing my whole body to do a U shape, which is actually, being very unnatural. So it's actually causing my whole body to kind of twist in. So after a 2-hour movie, I'm really sore. So I don't really recommend a bed, even though I do that for myself, because over the long term of an evening, it could actually be very harmful on your body, and then you'll be stiff in the morning. So where else can you crochet here in the house? So a lot of us have our favorite area in which we like to sit in the living room, and sometimes, most of us, it's usually like an edge. I think it's a human thing. We like to sit on the edge of things. So this may be my favorite seat. It isn't, but it could be. And the problem with the edge, and just see this pillow. Okay, I'm going to move the pillow just for demonstration. But sometimes when you're sitting on the edge of a couch like this, you want your arms to be free. You want them so that they're not interfering with each other. And so you just want to make sure that you're probably just slightly out from the edge of the couch, but sometimes you end up falling down that hole that's in between. So you want to make sure that your arms and your elbows are free. Even though when you start crocheting, you'll find that your arms will stay down and eventually not even move. It'll just all be your forearm area. But while you're learning to crochet, you want your arms to be free. And this also matters with your yarn, which we'll discuss in a little bit. Looking at a side angle of the couch is not my favorite area to sit in the house. And I'm finding, maybe at 37 years of age, is that the couch is too plush. And what's happening is the same thing that's happening in the bedroom, in a good way, or well, actually in a bad way when you think about it, is that my body is not sitting in a position that is comfortable for long term. And because it's so plush, is that my butt is sinking down, my legs are coming back up with the edge of the couch and then over, and then I'm looking down. So in actual fact, I'm probably in a worse U-shaped position than I am in the bedroom. So I find after a little bit of time on the couch crocheting that I'm really, really sore. So I find this positioning is making my back fall forward, which is kind of natural. It's kind of not posturepedic, as they would say, and it actually causes more stress to my body. And I find when I'm on the couch, I want to put my legs up onto the coffee table. Now don't tell anybody I do that, but when I do that, it's even worse than it is in the bedroom, because now the U shape is turning more into like a horseshoe, which is actually causing more stress to my body. So a couch for me is not what I recommend in order to use. But that's just me. Well, this here is my crochet chair, and I love this chair, and it looks like the most uncomfortable chair of my entire house, but it's actually the best chair that I actually have for my ideas. And the reason for it is that the nice cushion is strong, it's tough. There's virtually no give in the back, so it keeps my back straight up. I can look down without my body being curled up in that C shape or the horseshoe shape that we talked about, and my legs nicely comfortably drop down. Also, I find with this one, because the armrests are so much lower, that there's no interference with anything on the back of it coming forward, because usually when it's too plush, the material starts wrapping around your back, and of course there's no side rest in order for my arms to interfere with. So I find with myself is that it's easier to crochet when you're in a chair that is in a more upright position, that is more supporting your body than it is to be in a very plush, comfortable chair as they probably portray on television. Your yarn ball location in comparison to where you're sitting is really important. And the reason for that is that you want no friction. That's the name of the game here, to control your tension in your hands. And I like my yarn to be at this equal height to what I'm working with. So I just put it on an arm rest here. If I was working in my favorite chair, I would have put it on a little stepping stool beside me, and when I'm in bed I would just put it on the night table. So it's actually really critical that you have your yarn probably not at a really big distance, because if some people like me, the way I used to crochet is saying I put it on the other side of the room and see how fast I can get the string to go from the ball to my actual hands, but that actually causes more stress into your project than you actually realize. And some people like to work with their balls on the floor, and some people like put them in weird locations. Like, it wouldn't make sense for me to put it up onto this table over here, because then the yarn is coming from a really weird angle to my hands, so it actually causes more friction on my actual working hand that's controlling the tension. And some people, if you put it on the floor, what's going to happen is that if you put it on the floor, it's coming up, and this hand becomes like a pivot point of this string. So in actual fact, if there's any friction that is coming up from the floor, maybe it's going to rub against the side of the couch, it's getting more friction because of it, you actually might get sores on the top of your hand that's manipulating the tension. And I've had it, and it's called like rope burn or something. So it's really important that you keep your yarn close to you, but also keep it so that it's not touching anything along its path in order to work into your project. And it will help you control your project itself. Now the ball has fallen sideways on the ground as I'm doing it right now, and now my tension is even tighter than it was. And when I'm looking at my project, and this is actually just kind of a miracle, it just happened live on camera, is that this stitch here, in comparison to the one I just did, is a lot bigger because there was no tension, and now with the tension it's caused this stitch to be smaller. So in actual fact, in the long term, though people will probably never notice it, this stitch here that I just did will look tighter, and actually it could distort your project long term if you're forever working with tension and non-tension in your crochet project. When working with balls, and you know that you're going to end up working with balls at some point or another, it's better to actually get a bowl from your kitchen than it is to let it sit beside you, where you know it's going to roll off the couch, you know it's probably going to roll underneath something that hasn't been dusted in years, getting your yarn all nice and dirty. Plus you have the potential of ticking off the cat, the dog grabbing it, and etc. What I recommend is throw the ball in the bowl and just put it exactly where you would as if it was a regular yarn ball. And what I recommend is that when you're going to pull it, because it's inside the bowl, there's virtually no friction again, and it can roll all it wants to, but stays in the confine of the bowl. So I recommend getting a bowl if you're using loose balls, just like so. So I'm back here in my favorite chair, and this is not exactly how I crochet, to be honest with you. I'm missing two props that actually make my life a lot easier. And I find myself, especially working on the small projects, is not only do you have to hold your arms up to crochet, but you actually have to hold the project. So as the project gets bigger, you're getting more and more weight, but also, you know what, you get tired of holding your arms up and you're doing all the manipulation. And over time, when you become the crochet, you're really only truly using just the bottom sections of your arms. So what I do for myself, and this is exactly how I crochet, is that I grab my props from the couch and I stuff them underneath my armpits. Now if you get stinky armpits, you might want to fix that before you do it. So you want to get under, so now I'm supported like an ergonomic keyboard, so my arms are naturally out from my body. And now what I can do is that when I hold the project up, the weight now is no longer on my shoulders, but it's actually kind of on my elbows, but the elbows are being supported by the pillow, if that makes any sense. So now when I go to crochet, I'm actually crocheting absolutely comfortable. My back is staying upright and I'm extremely comfortable, so I can go hours in this kind of configuration. So people think, oh, you know, you got more stuff to worry about the pillows, but they're just staying there. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm just crocheting here on my favorite chair, and I guess we got one more tip to share with you, and probably it's not even worth mentioning, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's something that I wish I would have done earlier on in my crochet career. And that is the simple fact, say I had a television in front of me, or I'm watching kids, and etc. You find yourself going up and down, up and down. Now it's great exercise for your neck, I'm sure, but what happens is that you get so entranced in the TV that you're no longer thinking about up and down. And what you want to do is you just naturally want to look down, but then you're looking below your lens level. So what's happening is that you're actually looking at your project through your bare eyes instead of through the lens. In actual fact, you can make yourself a lot more tired and even dizzy not using your glasses, because that's what they're meant for. So what I do to compensate for that, so I can watch TV at the same time and watch my project, is that I push my glasses slightly down on my nose. I know I look dumb because they're not bifocals, but what happens is it saves my vision, so when I look down, just slightly, move my head just slightly, I can catch in the lens my project, but just by moving my head up, I can still see the TV absolutely clear. So that'll actually save your neck, it'll save your eyes, and basically I'm all set to crochet for hours, just tucked in here in my comfy chair.